The way you make money in the construction industry is called change orders, okay? I was told when I got started in this business that So what Matt's doing here is he's taking care of the entire kitchen. So this is a full restoration. We're not just a cleaning company, we're actually a restoration company. What he has to do is get all these little stains that you see here off the countertops. Here's actually a bad one here. So it's just really bad from all the construction debris. And so Matt's department is this entire department here. He takes care of the entire kitchen. It's a big deal because this is the thing that catches the eye when people walk in. So it's probably one of the more important pieces of the project. Jose, actually, this is one of the hardest things to do, is he actually takes care of these window frames. What he has to do is he has to get in here and knock off all the plaster and all the nasty stuff off of these window frames. Now, you would think like cleaning some window frames would be fairly simple, but I'll show you real quick. Here's one that's not done. So the abuse that these window frames just go through is just terrible. I mean, there's so much plaster and just concrete on there that we have to make it look new. Now, because this is a new complex, right? I mean, people want to walk in here, they're gonna spend $3,000, $3,500 a month. They need it to look beautiful, right? And so what we do is we actually pop the window out. We clean up the tracks, clean up the window seals, the window. We actually take pliers and we pop this out. This is actually the window track. If you've ever cleaned windows before, you'll know that you'll get a bunch of crud here in the corners. And what will happen is you'll see it constantly because when you have this track in here, you can't necessarily get to it. So it just looks, it's just nasty. It looks nasty. When it's all finished, you'll still see a bunch of nasty stuff in there if you don't pull it out. So he's got to do that. That's his department, windows and frames, big hose, right? Then you got Ben over here. He's got a lot going on. These bathtubs, what happens is a lot of the contractors, they like to use to pour out their materials. They'll leave like red guard from the plumbing. They'll dump stucco, excess concrete. And so those things just get really, really caked in there to where you can't just go in there and wipe it down, right? You have to actually go in there with a sponge, with an electric pressure washer that we actually just plug into the wall, and then we hook up a hose, because you're thinking like, where the hell do I hook up a pressure washer? You actually hook it up right here. So you hook it up to the washer or the dryer. So this is his world, this is Ben's world. He takes care of the mirrors, you know, takes off the plastics, get the bathtub. That's the main thing, is get that bathtub clean. We're not actually cleaning up after people, we're cleaning up after contractors. So it's a whole different game. You cannot hire a maid service or a residential maid service or any sort of commercial office cleaning company to come in and do a construction cleanup. It's a restoration business. And we're gonna show you on the next unit right there how that looks. already, you can already tell the floor is just completely tinted with drywall dust, excess debris, construction, lathering materials. I mean, it's very, very dirty. And so obviously if you're gonna come rent this unit for $3,000 a month, you don't want to have all this shit everywhere, okay? You see the countertops are destroyed. The sinks have calcium buildup from the contractors. The stainless steel has a bunch of markings all over it, tons and tons of dust all over your stove. Luckily, some of these cabinets actually have like a protective skin on there, so we'll pull it off and we'll be able to kind of clean that up a little bit. We actually have to pull, if you ever get into construction cleanup, pull the refrigerator out, okay? Make sure you clean behind here, because the superintendents and the project managers will freaking tear you a new asshole if you don't do that. Trust me, I know. Let's show you that bathtub, because that's the part that is really, really tough. It's a tough gig. So here's one of them here, and you could really see just how destroyed these tubs get. And that's why I say we are not a cleaning company. This is full-on restoration. If you see, this is Red Guard that's actually on here. This is a plumbing material that they use. This right here, if you look down here with me one more time, there's a film, there's a soot that's literally caked on here, probably an inch thick, I'm assuming. You see right here, this is actually the bottom. See, and so they drop all their drywall debris in here. And let me see if I can break it a little bit. Check it out. You see that? Mm-hmm. So it's really bad. Now that tears it off pretty good actually, so pretty impressive. But that's a lot, man. You know, this is just restoration. And so what you guys want to do is, if you're in a construction contract, is write down some of this stuff that the problem areas that you're dealing with, and notate it, because it's probably not part of your contract to clean up this stuff. See, people, the reason why they can't make money in this business is, a lot of people say, oh, well, the construction cleanup industry, you can't make money in this business. Well, it's because you don't know how to run this type of business. You don't make money necessarily on just your contract, okay? The contract is there as a base price, whatever they wanted to contract you at. So let's just say you wanted to price this unit. I don't know, how much would you charge for this unit, to clean this unit, to restore it, right? 2 hours on a high level. We try to get out of here within an hour, which is a lot of work, right? But if you took 2.5 hours, how much would you charge for the unit, right? Anywhere 150, maybe $200, somewhere right around there. The problem is you can make money that way, but you can also lose a lot of money that way because of stuff like that bathtub. It can hold you up. Or stuff like the floor, if you could see, there's just so many little stains, and you are accountable to make this floor pop and look perfect at the end. Now, if you can't do that because it's taking you 4 hours to complete this job and you only charge them $150 to clean the unit, you're losing money, okay? The way you make money in the construction industry is called change orders, okay? I was told when I got started in this business that you get rich on time and materials. The contractor gets rich when you contract, right? So getting a contract is good because you're in the door, you've built a relationship. But now you gotta know what you're doing. For instance, last night we came in here, we buffed the entire 4th floor. It was about 14 units that we cleaned yesterday. And we came in with the buffer and we buffed all these countertops. We got all the stains out of them. We made it look perfect, okay? What happened was right after that, the tile guy, which is this right here, this backsplash, he came in here and he fixed his excess grout where he was having issues with the grout. And so he came in here with a little grout brush and he started like filling in his grout after we buffed the countertops. And this is concrete, guys. This is concrete. So it's wet when it starts, but once it's dries, it's solid, it's concrete, it stains, right? And so what they did is they filled it in and then they took a sponge and they wiped this and they got it all over the countertops, all over all 14 countertops. See, if you're not present to catch those kind of things and understand how those kind of things are happening, you are gonna get hit for it and then you gotta go back and clean it again. That's not how you make money in this business. You got to be on top of it and understand that if somebody comes and messes up your stuff, notate it, and then you can let your project manager know, or whoever it is, the superintendent, that, hey dude, I cleaned these things came out perfect, I got pictures. They came in here and they stained up my countertop skin. I'm gonna have to come back through here with the buffer. That's gonna be a change order. So it's something that's outside of the contract, something that wasn't within your actual contract. So that's kind of how that works. And as you can see, guys, we got this entire hallway to finish. This is 14 units right here. Pretty good sized units, like 1,000, 1,200 square feet. Some of the units in here are actually 1,600 square feet. But this is actually the biggest large commercial contract that I've done yet. And we're gonna take a peek outside this window and see if we can kind of get a glimpse. So right now, we're standing on about $100 million worth of construction development, okay? Now, this building here that we're standing on, this is about 4 floors. There's about 56 units that are on this floor. And that building right over there is about 100 units. This is 4 mega size units. These ones are like the penthouse. They're like 1,800 square feet. These ones right here, there's about 20, 22, 24 units. And you can't see it, but that's just phase 1. Okay, this is just phase 1. There's 4 of these phases, okay? There's another phase, if you see right here, this is phase 2, right across the way. That's another 150 units, and you got phase 4 on the other side of that building, which is about another 100 units. Altogether, bringing the total to about 480 new luxury multifamily buildings. High profit, this is what I call a high profit building contract. And we, as the construction cleanup company, Sunclean, my construction cleanup business, the interior clean like you were seeing, all the way to the exterior windows, to clean the exterior windows. We're gonna be cleaning the facade of these buildings. Actually, we're gonna be, all you soft wash guys out there, we're gonna be power washing the entire facade of these buildings. We're gonna be power washing the decks of every single one of these. Also the garages, every single one of those garages down there. And then we're also going to be doing some like street sweeping stuff that's out here in the parking structure when they're ready for that. So there's a lot to do. And here's the thing, each one of these units, the way that we do it is we actually do 3 to 4 mobilizations of cleaning. So right now you see my guys, they were up there in the units right now. They're actually doing the first stage, which is actually called the rough phase. Okay, that's the rough clean. So a rough clean is the restoring process, right? You've seen them, they're tearing off that inch thick out of the bathtub. They're doing scraping the countertops, buffing the countertops. This is the restoration part of the business because of all this high traffic in here of all this new construction. That's the first phase, is the rough phase. After that, there's a second cleaning. We literally come back and clean every single one of these units again, what's called the final clean. A final clean is actually a full detail cleaning. It's a white glove inspection. We call it a white glove inspection. So we can take a white glove, we can actually do this, and there will be nothing on the glove on anywhere in the building. Everything's fully polished, ready to roll. The next part of that is actually called a powder puff. We call it a powder puff. What happens is the contractors and the subcontractors, the contractors come in there and they start punching. It's called a punch list. They approve everything. They literally go in there and they say, oh, we like this, we like that, everything's looking good. But then there's a few things that they don't like. So they put some tape on it and they have the other trades go in there and fix their issues. Once they've done that, that's when we've done the final. We're going in to do the final cleaning, is after they've done their punch. But then there's one more cleaning called the powder puff, okay? And we call it the powder puff because it's kind of like a girl, like when she's finished with their makeup and she goes and she just kind of like powders up the makeup. We call it the powder puff because it's easy, it's simple. After the punch list, after we've done the final clean, what happens is the management of the GC, or actually in our case, we're an owner builder, so the GC is actually owned by the owner. The owners will come by, they'll walk the building, they'll walk the property, and they'll approve it or not approve it. And as long as they approve it, we got to go back in there and just do one more light little dusting, which is from their footsteps of walking the building. It's called, also known as kind of like a move-in clean, or a a touch-up clean is literally the last phase. See, a lot of the times though, guys, in these type of projects, there's just tons of extra work, right? I'm contracted to do a rough, a final, a touch-up, the exterior windows, the pressure washing, but there's just so much more to it, you know? A site like this, nothing can go perfect and according to schedule 100%. There's gonna be all kinds of things that need to get redone or excess of done, and that's why you need to get your change orders in writing. You need to understand how to do them. You need to understand what's outside of your contract so you can actually make money on these jobs and make a killing. But this is our new project. We're out here at Vista Canyon, 480 units. We're gonna be here for the next 7 to 8 months. We actually figured we might as well show you guys what it looks like after a rough clean. These units are not perfect, but like I said, this is the restoration part of it, which will allow us, this is what I was talking about earlier. You had a guy come in here, he grouted, and then he went and just dripped all of his grout all over the countertops. But this is kind of like way better than what it was before. And so we have to get it to this standard, so then we can get into the final clean like we were telling you guys about. So this is a finished rough clean product. Not too bad. So this is all phase one, where we're at now. This is about 150 units, 200 units or something like that. This is phase two that we're coming up on. October, November, we'll be blowing through all this. That's phase three over there on the right. So where it's plastered and getting ready to be plastered here is all phase three. So it goes all the way down. And then phase four is gonna be these right here, where it's framed. The reason why you wanna get involved with large commercial contracts and high building contracts, if you're in a cleaning business or you're in any sort of like contracting business, is because like it sucks having to chase smaller projects, you know, and knock on people's doors or do your marketing, and you only get like one at a time. When you're getting one customer at a time, you know, you tend to get overwhelmed, you tend to get stressed out, you know, you can't keep the pipeline full, which it results into you not being able to get the right equipment, you're not able to hire the right people. When I started this business and I started doing these bigger projects, I didn't start that way. It was about a year after that I started. I actually figured out that I could finance the whole operation off of the contracts. So I came into this business really with no money, right? Now, that's not an easy thing to do, you know, it's really challenging to do that. And if you could be very disciplined with your money, especially in the first 2 years, you could pull it off. You know, if you're not disciplined with your money in the first 2 years, you know, it's not going to work out, because you're going to get some nice paydays and you're going to be like, oh shit, like I got a bunch of money, right? You have a $50,000 a month or something, you're going to get excited, but really that money is to run your business, right? It's to get people in there. It's to get equipment when you need it. I remember there was a time in the business that I wasn't even able to buy rags or a shop vac, right? $100 shop vac, that I was like, man, if I had one of those things, like it would make my life so much easier. I was literally just doing it with brooms and push brooms and stuff like that. So I would say in your first 2 years, save your money. You know, if you're going to get into this business or you want to start doing large building contracts, large high profit building contracts, I want to make sure I say that right, then save your money. You know, save your money, don't spend it. Make sure you have a decent amount of excess to be able to float it in your business. And you might be thinking like, well, that's cool, John, you know, that you're able to do these big projects, but you know, how do I do that? You know, what's in it for me, you know? And you're watching this right now and you're hoping that there's some sort of a piece of a nugget that you're trying to get that could potentially help you get these projects. Well, there's many things to it, but it's not complicated. It's really not. A lot of my students and people that I've worked with in the past that I've tried to help them, is there's just a few things that you need, right? One of them being you just need to be optimistic and just go and do it, right? Just try, right? That's first and foremost. You need to take action. You need to go out there, try to shake a hand of a project manager or a superintendent, right? It's very simple the way that this construction business is structured. There's a superintendent and then there's a project manager. Superintendent manages the work on the site. Project manager deals with all the finances and the contracting, okay? I personally like talking to the project managers, but it would not hurt for you to build a relationship with the superintendent, because the superintendent has the project manager's ear. So if he recommends somebody or he wants somebody in there, especially a cleaning contractor, he's going to get them in there. I would say, but number one is just taking action, right? Just getting off your ass and stopping by one of these trailers, stopping by a construction trailer, or making a call to a GC company or a development company that's building in these specific niches that I work in. See, I work in a specific niche that is luxury apartment communities and sometimes hotels. I actually work with hotels quite a bit, but due to COVID, they got hit really hard in the industry. And so I pivoted with multifamily. I've always worked with multifamily, which is luxury apartments, by the way. What I mean by luxury apartments is kind of like what you see back there. Some of the ones we work with, they got bowling alleys and they got gyms that are bigger than 24-hour fitness, and they're beautiful, beautiful luxury communities. But these luxury apartments are going through the test of time, right? Even with the bad economy or weird stuff going on, they're still building, they're still going strong. People still need somewhere to live. And so your future is a little bit more intact. See, I was always nervous getting into the construction industry. There's so many risks involved already. But then, what happens if construction just turns off one day? Well, I think if you're in the right niche of building, I think there'll always be something going on. I know people that have been in this industry for 30, 40 years. But going back to how you're going to do this is to pick a niche, right? I mean, you've heard it before, the riches are in the niches. And I truly have picked a niche, which is with luxury apartments. And one of the reasons why I did that as well is it's hard enough for you to go out there and perform a job day in, day out the right way, yet alone price the job. I mean, in construction, you're bidding a lot, right? You're constantly bidding and you're trying to price jobs and you're trying to win contracts. I've gotten so good at doing luxury apartment bidding, understanding the pricing, but not only that, training a crew on how to do it, because it's exactly the same, a little bit different here and there, but exactly the same at every single one of these luxury apartment communities, that we're able to perfect it. So the goal in your business is to scale, I'm sure. You're trying to scale. You don't want to just stay small and work with one or two other people. But the problem with scale is it takes tons of risk and tons of energy and people. You need to hire people. They need to know what they're doing. Scaling is the most challenging thing that I've ever encountered in business, is scaling. But in order for you to make the big bucks, in order for you to get to those high, profits that you're looking for, you can only make so much money on your own. You can only do it so far with yourself. And so when you can hire a team, or you can hire foremans and you can put structure in place, that's called scaling, and that's where you're trying to get at. So the point is if you're trying to get into these buildings, first you have to take action, right? Second, pick a niche. Pick a niche of who you want to work with and what type of buildings do you want to work with. And then 3, get super, super good at that. Get really good at what you're doing in that specific niche. And 4, build relationships. Build relationships with all the project managers and the superintendents, and do such a good job while building a relationship that all they want to do is continue to do business with you. So you've heard the whole referral system before. You've heard the whole, just do good work and things will come. But see, I see a lot of people that say that's not enough. Like, you can't just do good work. You have to be focusing on sales, sell. No, I'm with you on that. Like, I get that. But with large, high building contracts, when you're doing large commercial, high profit building contracts, one referral could mean your entire year is set, right? You know, maybe two is gonna, like, you know, make it really, really good. So I understand in residential and stuff like that, these smaller projects that you're doing, like one referral, it only means so much. You know, it's $500, $1,000, you know, whatever it is. That's not going to pay your bills for the whole year. You know, that's not going to pay for your team. That's not going to pay for your equipment. But one of these building contracts that you built a relationship with, that you can potentially get more work from them, where they're just calling you, is going to put things in perspective more than you ever known. And I'm at a place in my business now where they just call me. And it's just because I've spent the last 2 years building relationships. It hasn't been forever too, guys. You might be thinking like, shit, John, how long am I going to have to do this for? Like, I don't want to be doing this for 25 years. I get it. Our generation, we all want it now. We all want to do things now. We want things tomorrow. We want things next minute, next week. Well, look, man, I mean, 2 years to potentially have the rest of your life in front of you. I mean, why not? 3 years at the most. I mean, people go to college for 5 years, 8 years, and they still don't even end up in the profession they ever wanted, and they're not making the money they wanted, and they're not really like that satisfied. So if you're willing to put in 2 years into this sort of business, I can almost promise you that you're going to have some really, really good financial gain from this sort of business. And also, you're going to have a team more than anything. You're going to be making an impact. You're going to be helping people. You're going to be changing lives, and you're going to be doing big things. I got to get this food order for the guys so I can get back there and help them out. But it's been a pleasure, and I hope you learned something today. And if you're loving this, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with a friend. We super appreciate you guys watching this. So peace.